Hi, we are here to talk for a little bit about goal setting, about small business goal setting, about what it looks like for me and some points of struggle. And just as a little bit of a spicy take on the side, I'm going to tell you why I am not buying 2022 Power Sheets. Okay, so you guys might be looking at this thing on the left and thinking, what the heck is this? Well, this is actually a throwback to, let me say, 2015 or 16. This is when Power Sheets actually came out as inserts for the for a binder. And so recently, when I found a few leftover months, I repurposed them and I used them up just to cover a little bit of gap I had between my previous Power Sheets book and my current Power Sheets edition. Yeah, just bought a $2 binder, decorated it a little bit, decorated it a little bit more on the back. Now these are actually pages from Buddha Doodle's daily calendar, and just not a plug, but a very, very sincere advice: buy Buddha Doodle's calendar while it's still available. It is amazing. You get an artwork a day, usually with an inspirational message to go with it. It really helps you maintain some, not always positive, but a resilient outlook on life. And because I love the art so much, I just don't dare throw out any of the calendar pages. So this is what I use them for. My vision boards in my current Power Sheets is usually somewhat like that, with a little bit more personality to it. I mean, my personality to it. Yeah, that's just a little bit of an aside. So that's just to show 2016, 2021. Seasoned Power Sheets user. Not every year in between I have stepped out of the Power Sheets scene for a few years. Since 2019, though, I had some sort of Power Sheets arrangement every single month. So the problem that I encountered almost right away is that these guys, they are 6-month undated editions. And when I saw one of these for sale, even on Amazon back then, I'm like, wow, I can jump in any month and I can just work from wherever I want to, and let me do it. I did it for my birthday, which is in April. So comes October, I'm in trouble. I'm out of Power Sheets. Of course, that's right around the time when we have right now wonderful sales. The new Power Sheets for the next year have dropped, and no problem. I'll buy one. I'll buy a book and I'll start using it. I'll start using it in November because I need to, because I'm out of Power Sheets book. And so I just redated 2 months in my new Power Sheets book. I took November, December from the next year and changed the layout of the days, and I used them. Just, you know, the page that comes right here, just this page, I used it for, that was the dated edition because I got the whole years, but it was, say, November, and November would start somewhere here. I just covered the dates and I changed the start of the month, changed the dates to line up precisely with the days of the week. And that worked for that entire year until here comes November. And am I supposed to do that again? I didn't. I decided to bridge the gap with Powersheets, just some loose old month that I didn't finish out in that year, 2016 or 15. And yeah, just went ahead with this binder. I thought, okay, well, that's great. That's gonna work for me. And then let me just, you know, move into the new Powersheet book. The goal setting system that is always tied into the beginning of the year doesn't always work great for me. And I suspect it probably doesn't work great for a lot of people. Now, Lara Casey, who developed Powersheets, she herself says there is nothing magic about January 1st, except that her books do it. They tie you into January 1st. You can't really start a full Powersheet book anytime during the year. You can only start with these undated 6 months editions, which are not even available for sale the whole entire year. If you don't time your orders precisely so that you always have 6 months book on hand, you might run into trouble. Your timing might be off. And so that happened to me eventually. My timing, despite, you know, going through the hacks like this and all that, my timing eventually did not line up. And my current 6-month book is still very current for me. I started it in September, which means I'm not going to be done by the time I would normally be starting the new book in January. So should I buy a new book right now? This one will go to waste for about second half of it. And that just kind of doesn't vibe so well with me. I love Powersheet system. It works well for my personal goals. Now I am going to talk a little bit about what's with the business goals. And yeah, I would love to continue using it, but I think I will have to continue using it with the undated 6 months Powersheets, and I hope they continue offering them. That's all I have to say on that. So now let's get to the goal planning itself. I'm on the most meaty page of the Powersheets right now. This is where most of the work happens. This is where the magic occurs. You refer to your prep work, where you have laid out all of your yearly goals, and you look at some smaller granular goal steps that you have prepared for yourself also in advance as part of that prep work, and you pull the steps that you want to work on this month. So you break up those ideas into monthly, weekly, and daily, and those are not necessarily just from what you prepared originally. On your beginning of the month pages, you have some area to say what's going on right now, what's important to do right now, what might have popped into your life since you did that prep work months ago. So that that works pretty well for personal and for business goals. However, as I am really starting to get busy with the new business and different things I need to do for it, I'm realizing that this works. The daily action items work because they would be mostly personal ones, you know, sort of a self-care and family care, tending habits that need to happen daily. We have what, 7 items here that could probably work. I make it work for me right now. Monthly action items, here it gets a little bit difficult because there's usually plenty of personal items just to fill that section entirely, and if we throw in any business ones, then it's going to be crowded. And then weekly, I always struggle with the weekly part anyway, because these are the things that I want to, supposed to be anyway, the actions that you want to do consistently, week to week. They could be probably steps towards your monthly action goal. So let's say my goal is to practice music with my son. I want to do it ideally several times a week, but at least weekly. So I will put it as a weekly action item. And if I do, accomplish it every week, then that goal for the month of practicing music with him, I will consider that completed. So I will not put this as a monthly action item, but rather as a weekly action item, because the completion of the goal requires to do consistent action, so to say. And monthly action items is more one and done sort of thing. So that works. But I'm just a little bit concerned about mixing personal life and business goals, because I can easily see how business goals will just crowd out those important personal items. I have already noticed that I am not as productive with those, family personal items anyway, because of the season. Starting a new business did take a chunk of my time, even though you might not say that I was super busy before, but apparently I was, because now I feel the pinch of not having the time to do all these things. So yeah, it's an adjustment, and I don't know if this particular goal setting system actually helps or hinders that adjustment, or should I actually take my work, my business goals completely out of this and maintain that goal planning someplace else? There is plenty of professional goal setting systems that I could utilize. I always thought that this was more of holistic goal setting, because it does address goals in different areas of your lives, and one of them is your career and your work, and I like that. However, there are seasons when your career and your work becomes such a thing on its own that it might require a planning system on its own. So that's still up in the air, just still thinking about that. And that's another reason why I decided not to purchase 2022 Powersheets, just because of that part. Because if I have to go ahead and figure out a completely different system for the business, and that is going to be sort of a focus of my goal planning for the season in life, then maybe I don't need to commit to Powersheets for the whole 2022. I can just sit it out, wait for my 6 months undated, and be content with that. So that's just my take. I mean, I would love to hear from you guys. If you do have sort of a business or a career goal setting system separate from your Powersheets, then how you do it, and do you still maintain Powersheets in that situation also? Thank you.